Life with a chronic disease like relapsing multiple sclerosis can present unique challenges, especially when it comes to doing some of the things that you love. Chef Ben Ford, whose mother has been living with MS since he was a teen and who was inspired by his passion for cooking at a young age, he joins us today to share advice and offer accessible tips related to backyard dining and some of the challenges that people face with MS. Also, we're talking with nurse practitioner Courtney Roman. Great to have you both on the show this morning.
Good morning.
Hi, good morning.
Courtney, we'll start with you. What exactly is relapsing MS?
Of course. Relapsing MS is a neurologic condition that's considered to be autoimmune, which means it's your own immune system that's attacking yourself. Particularly, there's a coating that coats your nerves in your brain and spinal cord and along the optic tracts. When your immune system attacks that coating, there's neurologic symptoms that can occur, such as numbness, tingling, weakness, difficulty walking, blurred vision, or heat sensitivity. And it usually occurs in relapsing episodes, so the person will have normal neurologic function and then a flare-up of neurologic dysfunction that can last for several days or several weeks. And they will either completely recover from this episode or they'll incompletely recover and have some lingering neurologic symptoms over time.
Wow. And also, Chef Ben Ford, you have a personal connection to MS. Talk about that.
I do. I grew up with a mother who was starting to show symptoms when I was a teenager and wasn't diagnosed a little bit later. The diagnosis was more difficult back in those years. She's been living with the disease for 40 years now, so she's a long-term, she's suffered it for many years. But during the times I was being a teenager, the times when I was in the home, I was really a big part of helping her to sort of reimagine her life as an entertainer, as a cook, because our household was one of those homes where we had multiple people over there all the time. It was always a big table of friends and kids and family. So helping her to continue the things that she loved to do the most were very important in those years. And it's stuff that I really brought to the Reimagine Myself campaign. And in particular, we're contributing content to the reimaginemyself.com website, where myself and other experts or people that have experiences in this field are bringing it to the table. And the content's changing all the time. We've got some great summertime stuff on there for right now, but we're always adding content. So it's something, if you are suffering with relapsing MS, it's something you want to stay close to.
Yeah, and how are you both, taking this time to obviously spread awareness, but what are you doing to kind of inspire others who may be dealing with relapsing MS with this campaign?
I think it's really about, for me, it's really about helping people to, just understand that that they can reimagine and make small changes that can help them, that can impact their life in a big way. And that's really the challenge here, is to kind of identify those things. And I definitely come from my perspective with that, and there are other experts that can bring their expertise to the table as well and contribute.
And Courtney, you mentioned some of those signs or symptoms as that numbing and tingling or blurred vision. If somebody maybe is watching and thinks that they are experiencing something along those lines, what do you suggest they do? What's your advice to them?
I absolutely encourage them to call their neurology office. It's very important to stay in close contact with your neurology group or your MS specialist about what's happening. We're working on our mind reading skills, but we're not quite there yet. So if you don't tell us what's happening, we won't know. But there's a lot of things that we can do to help patients recover from relapses, but also to help slow down progression of the disease. We've made amazing strides in this field over the last couple of decades. We have multiple medications to help slow down progression of disability and to reduce the number of relapses or the severity of relapses. One of these medications is called Tecfidera. It's an oral medication that is approved to treat relapsing forms of MS, to slow disability progression and relapse severity and occurrence. So one of the most important things that you can do is talk to your doctor about potential side effects, including white blood cell count monitoring, or the risk of PML or allergic reactions. There's also some stomach upset and flushing that may occur. But really just stay in contact with your neurology team about what's happening with you so that we can help.
Thank you both so much. Can you send us to that website one more time so our viewers know where to go?
Sure, it's reimaginemyself.com.
Thank you both so much for taking time to chat with us, and also be sure to head to our website. We're going to have this interview posted at fox4morningblend.com. Do you have a business or organization that you'd like to see featured on The Morning Blend? We want to know who you want to see featured on the show. You can connect with us and share your thoughts through social media. We're on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. Check us out.